What is happening, brother?
Chilling, fam. Chilling, brother. How we feeling?
Fantastic, dude. Feeling good. Feeling good.
Been a long,
Yeah, it's been a long, long time, dude. How's things going?
good man. It's we're just keep on keeping on, man. Just keeping the dream going, keeping the journey going, and that's it. Trying to get to the top.
What's happening? You still in New York at the moment?
Yeah, still in New York, still in Long Island. Nursing the hand injury I got from the fight. Shouldn't take too long. Just about 20 more days in the cast, and then we're back. We're on and rolling.
What's it like in New York at the moment? There's still a couple of restrictions, or is it pretty free to be you?
It's the only restrictions really are just vaccine mandates and when you go to certain restaurants or stuff like that. But other than that, man, they're pretty free now. They're pretty lax. At least outside of New York City. New Jersey and the rest of New York is pretty lax, but New York City, you're gonna definitely need a vaccine if you want to go anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting times, man. And what was it like during like the really crazy times? Were you able to train, or did you kind of have to bunker down at home?
Dude, yeah, no, we kind of parked it down at home, man. I think it was like we spent a couple days inside the house, and then we were like, dude, we gotta get moving. So we bought a bunch of mats, laid them down in the garage, man. We also set up a couple workout equipment as well. So we had bench and squat and all that in there, man. So yeah, we were just training 24/7, man, lifting and just training martial arts.
I think I saw some videos actually of you guys. You had a bit of a backyard gym going at a point, and there was a couple of you guys just chucking it down. It was pretty cool.
Look, man, you got to do what you got to do, man. It was either kind of just sit at home and kind of get out of shape or leave your dreams kind of in the dust, man, or not. We had guys that still had fights. Like Aljo had Corey Sandhagen, like what I'm saying. I had a CFFC fight. Like fights were still rolling on, man. So we kind of had to still stay in shape.
I hear you, man. Talking of fights, a big one this past weekend in the UFC. I know you were watching very closely. What did you make, firstly, of the two flyweights, Brandon Moreno and Davison Figueiredo? Firstly, I want to get your thoughts on the fight, and did you agree with the decision?
Hold on. First of all, a flyweight championship into the picture real quick.
My
You know what I mean?
man,
What it's like.
fantastic.
But no, man, I thought it was a very good fight. I thought, I honestly, what I thought Figueiredo was gonna fix, the adjustments I thought he was gonna make, he ended up making. I think skillfully he was a little bit better. Technically, he was better. He threw the calf kick a lot more, so he fought a lot more intelligently. He even, was a lot more patient than he usually is. He didn't kind of go berserker mode and gas himself out. And when you're fighting a tough guy like Brandon Moreno who can go all five, you kind of got to be able to, keep that pace and go all five. So credit for him to staying patient. He got the knockdowns when he needed to, and he got the win. I honestly wouldn't have been, upset with the draw. I wouldn't have been upset either way. I think these guys are just so evenly matched. You know what I mean? They're gonna run it. They can run it back 6, 7, 8 times, and they might be even each time. So, fact of the matter is, I think the fights are great between those two, but somebody's got to step in the mix and save the flyweights from seeing the same fight every single day, man. Because I don't know about you guys, but we got a new challenger in the mix, and people are getting tired.
So this was obviously the big question, and I saw you chiming in quite a bit on it. You're still campaigning hard to get into the UFC, and it does seem, especially in the flyweight division, that from the next challenger to kind of arise is taking. I mean, obviously the guys like who's on there, like Brandon Royval and a couple of other guys like in and out. You've been on quite a tear. I think all in all, you're 10-0, 5-0 as a professional now. You always like to remind us, never been touched. You're kind of going in there with pitching a shutout. So, what did you say is the holdup, do you think, from that call coming from the UFC?
Before, I would have said it was the amount of fights. Especially when I was making my first, I think campaign, I was only like 2-0. You know what I mean? Then I won the CFFC belt and I kind of legitimized it a little bit and earned a little more respect. And then, I was 3-0. And, even when that contender series call came for Santo Curatolo, I was only 3-0 at the time. And I think he had, I think he was 6-1 or something like that. So, he had a couple more fights than me. And I know at one point they had said the minimum number of fights was 5. Even though I'd seen people in there with less, but, now there has to be no excuse, man. Now, I think at this point, whether it's the media pundits, you know what I mean? Whether it's the fans online or the diehard MMA fans, or even the people in the know who have trained in these gyms, who've trained with me, who've trained alongside of the guys like Marab and Aljo, who can attest for my skills. Dude, man, I think it's just one of those things where now everybody can kind of see how good I am. They could see that, man, striking, you can't touch him. They can see that now, man, in terms of the grappling, damn, not only can that guy grab a hold of you, but, man, that guy feels like a ton of bricks on top. And then on top of that, man, after the fight, nobody can get on the microphone and say anything half as cool as the thing that guy's saying. At the end of the day, man, I'm a full package deal. And if you want to make good money, then you want to sign Turbo.
My man. It's interesting to watch to kind of see. Obviously, the flyweight division is a smaller division, and it doesn't really make sense as to why they wouldn't be signing. It's like you're practically giving them every opportunity to give you a chance to legitimize yourself. In fact, so what's next from here? Do you kind of hope for that call? Is Cage Fury offering you another fight and another title defense, or what's happening? Obviously, your hands are keeping you out at the moment, but what do you think on the immediate horizon?
At this point, too, I just fought. You know what I'm saying? So, anything could happen, man. I can get signed, tomorrow, or in a couple of weeks or so, when they decide to sign new guys. So I'm not even saying I'm not there yet, or there's a holdup. But once we get this hand clear, then we'll kind of know what's up, because then I'll be ready to go. I'll be ready to fight, and I'll be ready to step into the ring, whether it's whether I got to take another one of Rob Haydak's belts. First of all, these belts are nice, by the way. This thing is heavy, man. So I don't put a couple more of these, but it's just one of those things, man, where I think the world is ready for it. I'm ready for it. My coaches are ready for it. I'm 26 years young. And right now, man, if you put me against anybody in the world, I'm telling you, I win. And it's not one of those cocky little things where he's just saying it to say it. Dude, it's one of those things where if you ask the guys who are around the gym, I'm that guy. You know what I mean? Like, if you ask these guys, what's it like going with Turbo? They're going to say, damn, that guy, he's pretty damn good. And he probably beats all these guys. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying it to sound cocky. I'm not saying it even just to talk trash. I'm saying it because in the room, I know I am that. And so I just got to, all I need is an opportunity to prove it under the lights. And as soon as we get this hand fixed, if Mick Maynard, Dana White, Sean Shelby, they can give me that opportunity, I'll show them that, man, I'm the next guy, man. I am the next big thing in the sport.
Fantastic, man. Let's play a bit of fantasy fighting, if you will. Let's say you get that call and your fight gets lined up. What does the perfect debut look like for you in the UFC? And is there a name that you've kind of considered that you'd love to make a debut against?
Yeah, man. I mean, look, at this point, I compete against any of those guys, and but the kind of guy I am, I'm gonna want to shoot for the top. I want the most. Obviously, I don't think in my UFC debut I would get, a number one contender fighter, get a fight against any of those guys in the top 5 or top 10. But, no one in flyweight is talking. No one in flyweight is willing to sit there and say, I want to fight that guy. Or, you know what I mean? I want this. You know what I mean? Oscar Askarov beat Joseph Benavidez last year and then sat out and hasn't said a word about fighting for the title. And everyone was saying he should have fought for the title. Alexander Pantoja subbed the guy and everyone was saying he should have fought for the belt. And he's been sitting there shutting up and keeping his mouth shut. I feel like I'm the only guy in the division who's willing to sit there and actually say what I want and then actually go out there and get it, man. So if they can give me a fight against anybody who that people are running from, man. If they want to give me a guy like Alexander Pantoja, I'll take him. They want to give me someone who's ranked a little bit, further down in the division, like Tim Elliott. I'll take a guy like that too, man. Brandon Royval, I think a fight between me and him would be absolutely crazy. So, I think there's a bunch of great fights we can make in the UFC. And regardless of who I fight, I'm gonna still never be hit, never be touched, never be taken down.
Do you think that there's hesitancy in, well, let's say in flyweights in general? Do you think it becomes hard to become a prospect without finishes? Or do you think it leans toward the light division style? Like, I mean, obviously fights are exciting. We just saw this weekend what exciting flyweight fights look like. But do you think sometimes that perhaps promoters put a bit too much emphasis on finishes instead of exciting fights?
I mean, look, man, I think the guys in the UFC at this point have seen the sport enough and have been around so much where they know, man, when a guy's good enough. And also they know that, sometimes, a guy might not get a finish, but, what did he go through in that camp? What affected him in that fight? You know what I'm saying? And also at the same time, just because you don't get a finish, a guy might be tough and all those kinds of things too. But also, if you dominate the fight, you dominate the fight. And one thing's for sure is there isn't a single second of any of these fights where I'm getting hit or I'm getting pummeled. These aren't unanimous decisions where, I'm going out there and we're getting split decisions or it's we're sitting there and we're going 29-28. Absolutely not, man. These are 30-26s. I'm getting 10-8 rounds out the wazoo, man. And I think by the time, I retire, I'm gonna probably have more 10-8 rounds than Khabib Nurmagomedov had. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? The finishes will come. This last fight, I honestly really thought I would have gotten the finish and I was prepared to in every way. But obviously, when you break your hand, you got weight cut issues, it makes it a little bit tough. Regardless, I've still never been hit. I've still never been touched. And even if you put me against the best guys in the world, I will still never be taken down. At the end of the day, Mick, Sean, and Dana, if they can see that I'm the best in the world, all they got to do is give me an opportunity and I'll show them I'm the best in the ring and I'm the best in the microphone.
I got to ask you about Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane. Obviously at the top of that card in the weekend. What did you make of that, to watch a massive man, complete opposite to you, go out there and perform those kind of high-end takedowns and then really adjust to the...
I think I lost you for a second, brother.
To the fight on his feet and execute. You there, dude? Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're back. I lost you for a second.
No worries. Did you get the question?
Yeah, but look, man, I think with Francis Ngannou, I think a lot of people have, I'm not saying people haven't thought he was a fighter before. I mean, the guy's obviously huge and he's willing to step into the ring with anybody. But I think this fight, he really proved that he was a legitimate mixed martial artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think mentally, physically, and otherwise, man, like, you even listen to the Ariel Helwani interview and he's talking about how he's sitting there in the third round and, he sees Cyril breaking and he sees that's where he used to be. And he sees, he's actually able to hear his corner now when he's fighting. He's actually able to make adjustments and think in there. Man, I think that is probably the scariest thing I've ever heard. If you were weighing anywhere above 220 pounds, you know what I'm saying? Like that guy starting to use his mind and thinking and using technique. And now also on the fact that he's mentally strong enough and mentally capable enough to, after striking and realizing it's not working, be able to make the adjustments and get takedowns and then use jiu-jitsu. I'm saying, man, like, you got to put that up there with some of the greatest title performances in history. I mean, that guy was not supposed to be the most technical man in that ring. And he used sheer technique and smarts to win that fight. You know what I mean? It's in my opinion, it's almost like watching Damian Maia go out there and get a one-punch knockout. Like, nobody expected Francis Ngannou to win the fight like that, man. And you got to give the guys credit.
Absolutely, man. It was emphatic to see. You mentioned something there which sparked my interest. You said he was able to hear his corner now in the fights. What's it
Yeah.
like having one of the probably the most recognizable voices in Ray Longo in your corner?
It's absolute madness, man. I'll tell you that. It's great though. It's the best. It's because first of all, you can clearly tell. All right, that's Ray and that's Matt. Like, you know what I mean? You don't got to deal with figuring out, all right, is that a random fan in the crowd yelling anything? Like, now man. But also on top of that too, like they're yelling the correct information as well. So great guys, man. They're really projecting their voice out there and they're projecting the right thing. So those are the two guys you want in your corner.
I got to ask you another hard question about a team member, teammate, and a good friend of yours in Aljo Sterling. What's it been like being you're obviously in his corner, trying to flare off some of the hate that he's been getting? What's it been like dealing with that kind of stuff and listening to some of the stuff that's been said about him?
Dude, man, to this day, since last year to this day, I still get Russian fans in my account. Comment. If you actually look on my last post, I'm pretty sure you can see one of them commenting on my post still, man. Like, dude, these guys, it's funny, man, how the sport works out. Cause I think at this point it's kind of becoming a little bit like pro wrestling in the sense where people are going to be fans of people no matter what. They don't care if they're throwing a dolly at a bus. You know what I'm saying? They don't care if it's Figueiredo dressing like an idiot and, make it embarrassing the fight. Like, at this point, people don't care, man. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I think he's just kind of cool with that. He's kind of at peace with it. But, the fans, man, they're interesting people. And I think at the end of the day, that win, you know what I mean? He gets that finish over Peter Yan. He's going to turn the entire MMA community up on its head. And, they're going to be finally saying the same things we've been saying the whole time.
Do you think there's like a little bit of extra pressure, or is it more motivation now to just go out and shut that book complete?
I think it's a little bit of both, but, just because there's pressure doesn't mean there's anything wrong with pressure. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously this fight is big, and obviously this fight's, bigger than the first fight, but Aljo knows that, and Aljo's training, and Aljo's in the room. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like, you know what I mean? Courageous people feel fear. They just, react to it differently. You know what I'm saying? And I think this fight there's going to be a lot of pressure behind it, but Aljo's a world champion in his own right, and he's going to rise above it.
Fantastic, man. What do you think we can expect from you in 2022? Obviously, your South African sport, your South African, I don't want to say membership, but your following is growing day by day as people get to.
Awesome to see, man. I'm not going to lie. It humbles the heck out of me because those guys, man, they feel so far away, but when they're constantly supporting you like that, man, it really, melts the heart. It makes you feel like they're so close. So it's awesome. It's awesome, man.
Amazing, man. And what do you think we can expect from you in 2022?
I'm saying you're going to expect a big year. I'm saying you're going to see you're 100% going to see me make it into the UFC. And depending on how many opportunities they give me and how quickly I can move up that ladder, I could beat the best in the world right now. So if they give me an opportunity, I'm walking away with the belt. Doesn't matter if it's Davidson Figueiredo dressed like an idiot and wearing, gold grills and, making a fool of himself, or, you know what I mean? It's against a guy like, Brandon Moreno, respectable gentleman who works on his craft every day. Either way, I'm going to be in that ring. I'm going to be ready, and I'm going to prove that I'm the best in the ring, best on the microphone, and hell, even the best in the commentary booth.
Fantastic, brother. As always, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Hopefully you're going to get that call soon enough. We're dying to see you in the UFC. I think you've earned your stripes now, and it's time for the Turbo Show to hit the big stage. So we wish you all the best with that, man, and we'll stay in touch, see if there's any fight news that pops up, and good luck with the hand, man, and have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day. And next time I come on the show, hopefully I'm bringing a UFC contract instead of this belt.
Sounds amazing, brother. Thank you so much, man. Have a good one, Phumi. Catch you later.
Take care.